Glad you're here for the live stream. Trying to get everything going. Trying to work a little fast today. I got something I got to do. So, but I want to go ahead and make sure I get this done. You know. So it's going to be a great show. Let me get the audio people all arranged here, and we will be ready. Rookie mistake. Helps if it's plugged in. It's like, why can't I hear my music? So that was a soft launch onto the audio side. All right. Now I'm ready. Wish I could figure out how to get this onto the live stream side. Hey, stoners, welcome to Sticks-n-Stonez. Man, I have a great show today. I think you're really going to love it. I am pairing, those of you on live stream, I'll hold this up. I am pairing, I've never had this before, so this is a first. Suntory Toki whiskey, beautiful looking whiskey. That is a gift from my sister-in-law, Gina. She's wonderful. And I'm pairing that with a Drew Estate Shade. I think this is going to be just an amazing combination. And here's why. The Japanese whiskey is known to be just super smooth and approachable. It features, this particular one, features a blend, excuse me, of malt whiskeys from Hakushu and Yamazaki. And my Japanese is non-existent, so I hope that's right. Those distilleries, along with grain whiskey from Cheetah Distillery. Now, Toki offers up kind of a light, fruity, somewhat sweet profile that we're looking for some notes of like green apples and like some honey sweetness, maybe a little bit of spiciness. Now the Drew Estate Undercrown Shade, I have had that stick before, and I love it. It is excellent, as pretty much everything I've tried from Drew Estate, and I've tried almost all of them. It has an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, which brings out kind of a creamy, slightly sweet taste. Now the binder and filler tobaccos just provide a really excellent depth and complexity. We're gonna be looking for some hints of nut and earth, and maybe just a little bit of pepper. Overall, it's a medium strength, which makes it a very versatile smoke. And I think it's going to be a great pairing with this. So we're going to go ahead, pop the cork, cut the stick, and get to toast it. So now that I've pretty much explained everything, we can just go ahead and cut it off right now. No, not really. The Suntory Toki, I'm holding it up for the live stream folks again. As I said, it is a blend of mash and grain whiskey from all three Suntory distilleries. It is a non-age statement. Now, I'm going to go ahead and glass some up. Oh, they've already, that's a point right there deducted. Screw cap, come on, get with it. We need a cork. All right, go ahead and glass a little of this up. It is very beautiful spirit. I mean, just a really light golden color. All right, there it is in the glass for those of you on live stream. We're going to give it a swirl. We see some, never mind. I forgot what I was going to say. It's, proof bubbles. That was the words I was looking for, proof bubbles. That's what the little bubbles here are around the sides. And typically, the more bubbles, the higher the proof. If I remember my Moonshine 101 test. But anyway, it is a light golden, kind of a pale straw color. It is thin, but I mean, it does have some pretty decent legs to it to be as thin as it is. I mean, it clings to the glass pretty well. I'm really looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and find out what the nose has to offer. It kind of feels sort of grain led or grain forward. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but then that immediately fades into just some wonderful notes of vanilla, which kind of dominate. And then, as I mentioned, you do pick up some green apple in it. I get some citrus notes, something along the lines of lime, maybe even kind of a marmalade kind of action going there. And you do pick up a little bit of straw. There is, like I said, with the marmalade, there is a little bit of sweetness. I also maybe pick up some kiwi in the nose, and just some very, very light hints of like dry tea leaves. You know, if you use loose leaf tea, you just, that smell, I pick that up. Now, on the palate. It is sort of thin, and I mean, it's not viscous. It washes right on through your mouth fairly quickly. It is actually, it has a little bit more heat than I expected. But it's still, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful spirit. And what I pick up, it does have some heat, but then it sort of falls away and becomes very soft. So it whacks you once and then it kind of mellows out. So taking another sip here. I do pick up kind of the malt whiskey components. It is somewhat vanilla forward, but I do also get some shortbread cookies, kind of malted. The British would call them biscuits, and then some almond, wherever you're from, and there's some raisins and honey in there. It is like they say, it's very complex. You know, this is a really great matchup here as far as the notes on the profile. And it's got a really good balance between sharp and sugary sweet. Like I said, when you take that when you first put the sip in your mouth, it kind of pops you with heat, and then that falls away, and you just pick up all the flavors. Very, very unusual. I like it. And I do pick up maybe just a hint of smokiness. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this. This is 43% alcohol by volume, so 86 proof. So that lower proof level, it is odd that it can get that punch on you right in the beginning. They've really done some good work here. That is a really good sipper. I mean, it is. The finish is sort of short, trying to get that out without stumbling over those words. And it is sweet. There's more vanilla and honey. And then there's a little bit of heat kind of rounding out that sip right at the very end. It's really good. I don't know if I would pick it over the Akashi Ume that I've paired here before. But I really, really like, I'm more of a sweet than sharp guy, and I really love that Akashi. But this is a really good spirit, and it would be, I wouldn't try to use it in like a mixer or anything like that. Just really neat. I don't even know if you want to add any chill to it, but you know that's up to you. Now, onto the stick, the Drew Estate Undercrown shade. We're gonna flash some shade. Take that foot band off. I'll hold it up again there for those of you on the live stream. It's got that beautiful Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper on it. This is a Nicaraguan cigar from the La Gran Fabrique Drew Estate. It is a Ecuadorian Connecticut shade grown wrapper. The binder is Sumatran, and the filler is a blend of Dominican Criollo 98, Nicaraguan Corojo, and Carrillo. That's a lot of E's. So I hope I got all that right. This is a Toro Extra. It is 6 by 52. I mean, for me, it's like the perfect size. And visually, it's very well made. Tight but visible seams. There's minimal veining, but the few that are on there are fairly prominent. Holding that up for the live streamers to see. Try to get you involved in the show. And it has a very large triple cap. There is just a kind of maybe a slight oil sheen on the wrapper, and it's very smooth. Maybe a touch of oil in this, but not a lot. Now on the nose. You get this kind of rich, barnyardy, earth, fresh hay type of aroma off of it. That's a whole lot going on right there. You also pick up some light notes of leather and maybe just a touch of cedar. All right. I wasn't completely prepared. I did not have my Cassetti multi-cutter out of the little bag, but forgive me. All right. But I am going to use the Cassetti multi-cutter V-cut. Wonderful cut. And this cigar has spent the last several weeks in my new King Chii 145L humidor cigar cabinet, and it is wonderful. There is a link in the bio and in the description of this episode when it comes out that will take you right to it. The 145L holds over 600 cigars, and I'm working on seeing exactly how many that is. So bear with me. I'm going to try. I am using my Rocky Patel Envoy 5-torch. You can also get the Diplomat, which is a 5-torch. And even as far as it was from my face, I could still feel the heat on my forehead. That is a really, it will get the job done in short order. I love that lighter. Now, I puffed it a couple of times before I started lighting it, but I don't think I told you what I got on the cold draw. Sorry, I'm trying to move fast today, and I need to slow down. That's what cigars are all about. But I did get, there's been vanilla on the nose, vanilla in the cold draw, and there's also some vanilla now on the light. I get kind of a milk chocolatey creaminess, vanilla, a little bit of spice, some really nice sweetness, and maybe some caramel, and there's some nuts in there, and then just a little bit of cedar kind of hanging around in the background. Uh, that is a really good smoke. I think I need to touch it up. I didn't do a really good job of lighting it. I need to slow down. That's not my phone in the background. Sorry. You know, when you're live, that's how it is. Now let's try them together. Oh yeah. I mean, the when you take a puff on the cigar and then take a sip, the cigar sort of mellows out that initial sharpness where it kind of smacks you as soon as you take the drink. The cigar kind of muffles that a little bit, makes it a little softer, and then those flavors just open right on up, and they do really go they do go really well together. Um, you've got that vanilla and the sweet, kind of creaminess, and there's some fruitiness, and they all kind of combine together to really create a wonderful experience. Shut that dog off. Sorry. They're like kids. You don't train them right. Those really do complement each other very well. Uh, yeah, I thought this would probably be a pretty good pairing, but it's so far it's kind of it's outdoing my expectations. Uh, but I knew with the Japanese whiskey that something in a lighter shade wrapper would probably be best, and I was right. I think if you get a darker wrapper that's a little more robust, it might overshadow the spirit a little bit. But this is doing pretty well. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. So, for those of you that are listening to this after the fact on audio, I am going to put you on hold and come back at the halfway mark. So stay tuned. You'll get my midway comments momentarily. Now it's just you guys. I tell you, Jonathan Drew is an eccentric guy. He is. You follow him on social, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I mean, he's an eccentric kind of guy, eclectic, maybe. But the dude can produce some cigars. Now he can. My favorites, and I know a lot of the purists don't like this, but my favorites are bumped a table leg. My favorites are the Java line, that coffee infused cigar, and it's just wonderful. Uh, and I'm not I'm kind of that's the way I am about most everything, because I'm kind of open to all kinds of different things. Uh, it's like I do like some of the flavored whiskeys where the purists are like, no, you can't have any flavor with it. Cigars, no, you can't have a flavored cigar. I'm not buying a King Edward's grape at 7-Eleven. I mean, I'm buying a premium handmade cigar that costs $10, and it's infused with aromas and flavors of coffee. How's that a bad thing? Ease up. Sometimes I want to tell them, who lit the fuse on your tampon? I do possibly have some very interesting things coming up. Um, I can't let the cat out of the bag just yet, because but I'm in discussions. And this would be something that, for me, it would be a really big deal. And I think it would benefit all of the people that like the show and watch and think I'm this goofy guy, that it's entertaining to watch me screw up and not plug my headphones in and drop ash in my lap and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I know a comedian. I need to get her to come and do a stand-up on Livestream. That'd be funny. And then see, I'm not good at like telling jokes, but I'm very good at playing off of people. People say stuff and then I kind of go with it. That's the way I am. If you have never tried any of the Undercrown series, you've got the Shade, the Sun-Grown, the Maduro. I've had all of them, and they are excellent cigars. They are, for the purists, they're not flavored or anything like that. They're just really good, consistent, flavorful, easy smoking cigars. And that's what I like. I'm not, I like to get out and just sit back and not have to think about, you know, I just want to smoke a cigar and have a drink. I like, I did a Davidoff cigar. That was my first one ever. I've been smoking cigars for 20 years. I'd never tried a Davidoff. They're expensive, but I finally broke down and I think I ordered one with some other cigars I had ordered from CI. And they had these as an individual tubo, so I ordered it. And it was a good cigar, but I try to do the common man caviar, something that pretty much anybody could afford. So, and these are right in that line. These Nika Rusticas, those are really good too. Wow. And those are smoke monsters. Man, they put off an amazing amount of smoke. This has got nice smoke, but those put off an amazing amount of smoke. It is amazing at how this cigar mellows out that smack at the beginning, and just, even though this was a very approachable whiskey already, this makes it completely approachable. Even somebody with the most sensitive of palates, um, they would enjoy it if you paired it with this right here. I mean, and the different flavors in the palate all kind of go together. The creaminess, the vanilla, little sugariness. There's some nuts in there, and it's really good. I've looked at Toki pretty much every time I've gone into the cigar shop or the package store. Total lot. I'll go by and I'll look at it and I'll be like, no, not this time. I'm gonna wait till next time. I got something else. I got some scotch or something that I want to, I got things in my head that I know I want to do weeks ahead of time. But when my sister-in-law bought this for me for my birthday, I was like, oh yeah, I'm putting this right into the rotation. So. And Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez bought me 2 bottles of Blackberry Crown. That's really good too. I don't think it's as good as the apple, but it's good. I think the apple Crown might be the best that they've put out. If you're talking about the flavored stuff, uh, it it's really good. Just a ice cube, big whiskey ball in the glass. Pour some Crown in there. That is the only Crown apple and Crown vanilla are the only 2 whiskeys Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez will drink. Everything else has to be clear liquor like rum, vodka, whatever. And while, the purists might not like it, if you're bringing more people into the fold that don't normally partake in this stuff, I think you've done the entire industry a service. She brought more people in the tent. See, I hadn't taken a puff before I took that drink, There's a little more when you first put the sip in your mouth. It is amazing at how much a cigar can impact a spirit. Keep that in mind. That's why I'm doing this. To maybe put a little more in here, because I do things that some people might not think of doing. You know, uh, like and I need to get back to doing this. I've paired a port wine. I've paired beer. I've paired tequila. I've paired rum. Um, things that are just most people think when you think of smoking a cigar and drinking a spirit, you think of whiskey of some sort, whether it's bourbon or scotch or whatever. But I'm like, hey, let's expand that out. Let's see what else is out there and what you can do. And it's done some. I've had some, in my opinion, some really good pairings when I've gone outside the normal. Yeah, for those of you that may have joined in late, I had touched up right after I lit this cigar. And I said at the time, I said, I think it's my light. And it sure was. And after I got it touched up, it has been probably as close to razor straight as any cigar I've smoked. I don't, I generally don't see them that straight. It's a natural product. It's not going to be, it's not going to be perfect. Um, and that's part of the, uh, I think that goes into the mystique and the attraction of it. It's like cigarettes will burn completely straight, all the time unless you screwed it up. Uh, but this is more natural. And so you get those little waves and those imperfections. It's once they really start getting extreme that you're like, okay, did I do something? And if I didn't do something, then what's wrong with the stick? And generally you'll find a stem or some kind of weird roll inside, and that's caused it to burn funny. So it's a little something to keep under your hat there. I will say, this is a rather slow burner. When I put the audio people on break, we were at just under 17 minutes, and now we're at 27, and I am like an inch in. Just the tip. And as I said a few minutes ago, uh, I was talking about the Nika Rustica and the fact that they put out a tremendous amount of smoke. This puts out a good volume of smoke, but it's not an extreme volume of smoke. Uh, it is very light and wispy, uh, and there's enough, but there's not too much. Some people kind of get overtaken. There's too much smoke; they end up choking themselves. Hmm. That is really, really good. Sorry you can't. Sorry you can't be here and experience it, but you can when you listen to the audio. There will be a link to the cigar in the audio. Click the link, take you right to it. You can order it, ship it to your door. That simple. Notice I was close to having the most people on. Uh, Getting a text from my youngest, so something about transferring money. And it's got some really nice, just little stacks of light white ash with just some hints of gray in it. Uh, I'd really kind of forgotten how good this cigar is. I was trying to get my comments up, but I don't know how to do that. I have forgotten. I've done it before. Anyway, if y'all say anything, I'll get to it eventually. I hope everybody is getting along well. I know we are having a whale of a time with inflation. Uh, I'm reading her text. Sorry. Joy of being a parent to teenagers. Um, I'll get my train of thought back again. Uh, yeah, inflation is terrible. I was watching news the other day, and they were talking about like eggs are up like 43%, cars are up like 20 something percent. All this stuff is just, it's amazing. And I have my own personal views on all that stuff, but not for here. I can say, I've watched the interviews or like the man on the street thing, and they'll just stop people and ask them, hey, do you feel like you're better off today than you were 3 years ago? No. Like every single person they ask, they stop people. You're like, hey, do you feel you're better off than you were 3 years ago? No. Like, damn. It's, I don't know. It's very odd. That ash is really hanging on. Does not have a lean to it or anything, bend, whatever you want to say. Uh, I'm always amazed at how good a cigars Jonathan Drew can produce. I'd love to meet that dude sometime. I bet he'd be a riot to hang out with one evening. Oh, and if you haven't gone to YouTube and seen my, I posted it on social media, but you can get directly to it on YouTube on the Sticks-n-Stonez page. And look at my King Chii 145L. I did like a minute long reel. It was stupid. I was just trying to put something together. I thought it'd be eye catching, and it was silly, but I enjoyed it. It was fun to do. I did a voiceover, like your cigars are in trouble. And I jump up and go running in, and I open up my old cigar cabinet, and there's no cigars in there. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I got a King Chii. And then I turn around, and it's like, oh, and there it is. And I go, and then I've got the camera inside the humidor looking out. And I'm just like, oh, yes, there. I love that when I'm going to smoke you. I'm going to smoke you, and I'm going to smoke you. Yeah, it was fun. But, you know, uh, I will tell you, I've had 4 or 5 different, maybe 6 different humidors over the years. And these King Chiis, they're excellent cigar cabinets. They are. Wind's kind of dying down, so the smoke is hanging a little more. Uh, I'm telling you, you really need to try this. The Drew Estates Undercrown Shade and Suntory Toki. It's a blend of grain and malt whiskeys. And see, when they say malt, that's what they have to say. That's their version of Scotch. Uh, Back many years ago, the 20s, I think it was Suntory. Uh, a guy, Japanese feller, he went from Japan to Scotland, and he worked in Scotland. He worked for the distilleries, uh, and he learned how to make Scotch. He spent years there. Then he went back to Japan and recreated that in Japan. But uh, the Scottish government has a stranglehold on the word Scotch. And if it is not distilled and aged in Scotland, it's not Scotch. Uh, so they malt whiskey. But they do, it's just like anything with the Japanese. They manage to figure it out. They're really good at making stuff. Still haven't dropped ash yet. But we're getting close to the halfway mark. There's a little bit of pepper on the retro inhale. Not much, just a little bit. It's just an exceptionally smooth cigar, really smooth. It'd be a really great cigar for somebody that's just getting into cigars, uh, because it's not harsh, it's not a smoke monster, uh, and it's got a lot of really good complex flavors in the profile. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If you're just starting out and you want to go in and find something, uh, this I think would probably be one of the ones you might be looking for. Uh, Sorry, my nose is itching. I hate doing that on camera, but my nose is itching. Uh, I think that means somebody's coming to visit me. I don't know. I wish my hand would start itching. I think that's means when I'm going to get money. I'd like that. Money would be good. And I'm on Pinterest now. I think I've kind of really been on Pinterest for a while, but I've got episodes out there. I've got, some of my wares that I hawk, and that kind of thing. So if you're a Pinterest person, you can find Sticks-n-Stonez on there. Hmm. Sorry, I'm inspecting. Kind of feel like there's a stem in there, right below the band. Could be a vein. I'm afraid I'm gonna drop this in my lap. That is just, I mean, it's got a really good kind of fruity underlying, profile. It's not like fruit forward, uh, because the dominance is like vanilla, but that fruit is in there, and it just kind of permeates all through the sip. Uh, it's kind of brings a lot to the table. I mean, you normally think of Japanese whiskeys as being a little more subdued, uh, not as complex, but that's really good. I've really been wanting to get into and do a little more with the Japanese whiskeys because they have become so popular, uh, and just kind of see what it's all about. The Akashi Ume I realize it is super sweet as far as whiskeys go, and it is definitely outside the normal box, but I like it. Matter of fact, I want to drink it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to drink too much of it because I want it to last as long as I can make the bottle last. And really, I could just be like, I could go buy another bottle. We're in right now. It's a wonderful day here in North Texas. Beautiful day. It's like 73, 74 degrees. There's just some little spotty, thin clouds, sun shining. Uh, it is, it's a wonderful springtime right now in Texas. Uh, I was going to say something else, and then I got off on the weather part of it. Oh, I was saying it's April. And so in June is when my year episode cycle ends, and I will start into my fourth year, my fourth season of doing this. I didn't think I'd ever make it this far. When I started out, all I had was a like $125 digital video camera and a plug-in little microphone. That was all I had. I was doing all video then. And then I kind of got away from the video part of it. I do the live stream, but I got away from doing the video episodes because it was a lot of editing that you had to do. And it was hard for me to keep the episodes coming out, you know, on a good cycle. And video does take up a lot of space. So still an excellent ash going there. Still nice and straight. It's just, this is actually, I will say that I don't want to give away too much until I like spring the half on everybody. But like the caramel has gotten a kind of deeper sweetness to it, almost at the point of like a molasses. Hmm. We're almost there. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna drop this off because I know it's gonna go in my lap. And that would make me very unhappy. So I don't have to worry about as much like this. I heard there was a little news of the day. I heard there was a terrible knife attack in Australia somewhere. Like some dude just went berserk and started stabbing people, you know, like a mall. People are crazy nowadays. I mean, I know part of it is the 24/7 news cycle and you can hear everything that happens all around the world in an instant, but these folks are crazy. It's just have a cigar, pour a glass of whiskey, just chill out. I keep fumbling this thing around when I turn my head. I hope it's not making a whole lot of noise on y'all's end. Like, thump, 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 thump. If it is, I'm sorry. But I don't like pinning it to my shirt. And since I'm wearing my Freedom Fatigues Gonzalez Cannon Come and Take It shirt, if you haven't been over to Freedom Fatigues, you need to go over and see those folks. They have some really cool designs like this. And it's veteran owned. All the stuff is made right here in the USA. You need to go check those people out. You can go to our website and there's a link right there on the front page. Click, take you right over to them. I know they would appreciate it. And I noticed, also represent Caliber Coffee. It's another veteran-owned business and some really great coffee from somebody that used to own a coffee house. It really some great coffee. But I saw Pete Hegseth from Fox News doing a commercial for them today. And I was like, man, he's probably going to sell more of it than I will. That's why I got this thing in the works. I mentioned this when I first started this episode. I don't really want to give too much out because nothing's in stone yet. We're still talking, but I got some stuff in the works that it's it would really be great for me. I know for the show and that kind of thing. We'll see. I'm all down for it, but I can't speak for them. But if it comes through, and I am 2 months away from going on vacation, going down to the Sticks-n-Stonez Southern Command. Got a new fridge in the condo. The other one, the ice maker didn't work. That's terrible. If the ice maker doesn't work, and it hadn't, we bought the place like 3 or 4 years ago, and the ice maker hadn't worked ever since. And I didn't like it, but I didn't want to invest the money into a new refrigerator. But something happened to the old one here in the springtime, and you're going to have to replace it. So we did. And so now I'm going to have ice for my Ninja. If you like making mixed drinks like margaritas, pina coladas, and that kind of stuff, use a Ninja. Actually, there's not a link on the website, but there should be because I represent them too. If you've never watched the guy, the Tipsy Bartender, he's on Facebook and probably Instagram and Twitter and all that. I hadn't seen him in a while. I need to go back and, I rabbit hole off into other stuff, and then the algorithms quit putting him in my feed. I need to go back and find him. But he would make some really great mixed drinks. He was a bartender. And so I asked him one day, I'm like, what kind of mixer do you use? Because your drinks seem to come out so smooth. And he's like, I don't use anything but a Ninja at home. Of course, they use the big $1,000-something ones at the bars. But for home, a Ninja is great. I love it. And here's a little tip. All right. A lot of people don't know this. Your local Sonic will sell you Sonic Ice bagged. The trick is you have to make sure you go there when there's not a lot of people around and they're not real busy. Then they'll bag it up for you and bring it to you. They'll bring it right out to your car, just like your ice cream or hamburger or whatever. And it's like $2.99 a bag for the big 10-pound bag. That stuff blends excellently. That may not be a word, but I'm using it. Yeah, that means you don't have to worry about any chunks or anything. You put that in there, the Ninja, smooth as silk. Great margaritas. I need to do a thing on my margarita making. My margaritas are legendary here in North Texas. And tequila is made with agave. Agave has been proven to be beneficial to blood sugar. So if you have blood sugar problems, you're like diabetic or something, drink more tequila. That's what I got out of that. Scientific studies say agave is good for your blood sugar. Drink more tequila is the way I see it. Tell me if I'm wrong. All right, we're probably a little past the halfway mark here. And I have to hurry up and get this all done up so I can make my next appointment. All right, here we go. Hey, Stoners, I am back. And these two are going together so well. I've been talking to the people on Livestream about it. The Undercrown is a wonderful smoke. And as we got kind of closer to the halfway mark, the caramel seemed to kind of give way to almost like a caramel coated popcorn. Think like Cracker Jacks kind of thing. Almost a molassesy kind of sweetness with just that little bit of bite to it. that causes the stick to really marry together even better with the honey, I mean, the vanilla and the honey sweetness and the raisin notes off of the Suntory Toki. Uh, this is I mean, just an excellent pairing. And I'm not trying to be conceited because I thought this all up on my own. But these two go together very, very well. There's in the beginning when I took the first sip of the Toki, I said it kind of slaps you with a just a burst of uh, sharpness, but then that fades away into the sweetness and everything. But after you take a puff on the cigar and then take a sip of the whiskey, the cigar kind of tamps that down and makes it even more smooth than it already was. They are going together very, very well. And I am excited to see what this last half holds for us. So I'm going to go ahead and burn this down the rest of the way, and then I'll come back and give you an update. See, y'all get to see what goes on kind of behind the scenes. Because back when I was doing recording my videos and stuff, I put the recorder on pause, and then I sit there for like a half hour smoking and drinking and just doing nothing. And then I go back and turn the video back on and record some more and put it on hold again. So y'all get uninterrupted. Y'all get all of the, and then I would, edit out things like if dogs started barking, I would just stop talking. And then when I'd go back and edit the video, I'd edit that section out. So you might hear the dog barking before I stop talking, but then it goes away. So, but I don't know. I just didn't like that as well. I mean, I like doing, I like doing the video stuff. It was all right, but I much prefer, I've got the live stream and I've got then the audio that's separate. And you guys on live stream, you're getting to hear this now. This episode is actually the audio of it will not drop until next week. I'm a week ahead. So you guys get to see this a week before the episode actually comes out. So you all are insiders. You're insiders. Early on, I had like a dozen people on. So, it may be I shouldn't go an hour or hour and 15 minutes. But that's how long it takes to smoke a cigar. Somewhere between 15 minutes plus or minus an hour. So 45 minutes to an hour 15. And if I'm gonna let you watch all of it, but the people that are on right now, I really appreciate you. Make comments. Let YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or wherever you're seeing this at, let them know that you like it. Great episode. Dude, you're hilarious. What the hell? Anything. And this is, the Toki is a low enough proof. And, I mean, it's 86, but still, relatively speaking, most of the bourbons that I do are up in the 90s. I think the highest proof I've done is like 128. So honestly, 86 is a little low. But it's got a low enough proof to it that, I mean, I know I've touched up the glass a couple of times and I still don't even have a buzz. I think there was one time that by the time I got done, yeah, I was toasted pretty good. I don't know if that was the 128 proof or not, but it was one that was on up there. Seems to have gotten a little harder to draw. Trying to figure out the right word to say that, not sound, There's lots of things going on in my head, but I'm trying to keep it clean so that the social media gods don't, you know, kick me out of the algorithm. Yeah, it's definitely changed a little bit here in the last half. The draw hasn't necessarily gotten harder, but it's not producing as much smoke. And it has developed, compared to what it was, it has developed a pretty significant dip on that side. I'm gonna hate to have to knock off points on this for, construction problems. That's not JD Drew. JD Drew. That's a baseball player. It's not Jonathan Drew. Well, I think it's a former baseball player. I don't think he's playing anymore. I have to have a drink of soda. Diet Mountain Dew. Back when I was in high school, many years ago, we mixed Mountain Dew and Evan Williams. That was some good teenage stuff right there. And drank MD 2020. Of course, everybody calls it Mad Dog, but MD doesn't stand for Mad Dog. That's the name of the company, and they shorten it to MD 2020. But we always talked about, yeah, you drink that Mad Dog, it'll cause you to drive your truck into a house. When in actuality, it is just a very cheap wine. I'm gonna hit this with a lighter and just see. I don't know. It's now my OCD is bothering me on it. That's a lot better. Maybe it was just kind of get going out just a little bit. Maybe I did more talking. So, hey, and y'all let me know. Put some links in the comment if you would like to know if you think doing a video on how to do a podcast, because I've learned a lot over the last 3 years. And while I still don't feel, like I don't have a studio to go into like some of the guys that I'm kind of friends with on social media that do this kind of stuff. They've got these like real fancy studios and all that where I'm sitting out on the, back porch. I've been trying to convince Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez to let me build a bar shed right where the trampoline is now that we're about to get rid of because our two cheerleaders don't use it. But she's not going for that. And what my idea was that I would have like a bar front with a TV, and you could put stools out, outside of it there, and people come up and you could, serve them from behind the counter. But then behind you is like a little room. There's a door to go in it. And it would be like 12 feet long and about 6 feet wide or so. And that's where I would have my studio, where I could have maybe like a neon sign. I could have different things on the wall. I have the whole thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to belch in your ears. The whole thing lined in cedar. She's not going for it. But anyway, but I've learned a lot, and there's some things that I, like I bought in the beginning that I look back and I'm like, man, I should have just went ahead and did this at that point in time because it's where I ended up. But yeah, I've learned a lot, and if somebody wanted to get into the podcasting business, there's a lot of things I can say now that I'm like, do this, don't do that, stay away from that. That's a waste of money, So, but yeah, let me know if you'd be interested. I might have to do a video like that. And that's one I could do inside. It wouldn't be outside. And I'm still not set up nearly the way some of these guys are. They've got like multiple cameras, different angles, and they do, like editing and all this kind of stuff. And you just like, almost like the news, you flip from one camera to another and, that I don't have any of that. I've got that, my iPhone 15, which is an excellent, excellent live streaming platform. I've got my iPad here. It's got my notes and everything on it because there's no way I could remember all the stuff, the size of the stick and the proof of the whiskey and what distilleries they got the whiskeys from, all this kind of stuff. I can't do all that from memory. Sorry. I can barely give you my phone number from memory. I tell me it's the Sticks-n-Stonez. I'm like, yeah, by the time I retire, I'm probably going to be in a wheelchair drooling. So my mom is like 80. And she's like, son, you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be like when you get to be 80. I'm like, I'm probably not ever going to know. But I look back, all right. My dad died young, relatively speaking. He was only a couple of years older than I am now. His dad died young. Wasn't like medical related. But then his father, my great grandfather, who I don't remember all that much about him, but I just adore him. He was one of those guys that you're like, damn, he's been some places and seen some chat. He died, he was like 95. He was born not in the last century, in the one before that. He was born in the 1890s. And at like 14 or 15, 16 years old, something like that, he lied about his age to get in the Army. And he was in General Blackjack Pershing's escapade throughout Texas and Mexico, chasing Pancho Villa. And then was in World War I, came back, got a job with a big, you've probably seen it at your grocery store because it's all over the country. And you don't realize this from this little town in Arkansas, Riceland Foods, there in Arkansas. He worked for their mill. And after chasing Pancho Villa and being in World War I, he comes back and he's in an industrial accident and loses one of his eyes. Like, dude, you were getting shot at and all kinds of stuff. And you come back and you're just working and lose an eye. But he had his stories, and he always wore his Stetson open road. My dad had it wrapped up in a bag, and now nobody knows where it is, and it just kills me because I'd love to have that. I wear my Stetsons because of him and because I'm in Texas, but I'd love to have that hat. I don't even know if it'd fit me because he was a sly man. He was probably not more than about 5'6" or 5'7", and if he went over 100 pounds, maybe 110, something like that. He was a small, and I'm not. I'm 6'3", and I've lost about 50 or so pounds, and I'm down to 225. I was almost twice him, or I am almost twice him. At one point, I was almost 3 times because I started at 275, and I'm down to 225. And more information than you want to know. But depending on when I pooped, I could be down to 221. I said it's probably more information than you want to know, but there it is. I didn't say anything nasty. I've been thinking about going down to, I've got a place down here I like, only like a mile or a mile and a half away, El Dorado Fine Cigars. There's some really cool guys in there. I've been in there several times, and I thought about doing the show from there. See if they'll let me. There's another place a couple of miles the other way over here, and they let me for a while, but that's back when I was doing the video stuff. But I haven't been in there in quite a while. And it was one of those places, it didn't even have a name. The name was Cigar Lounge. That's it. Nothing else. It's a cigar lounge. It's what's on the sign outside. That's when you know it's going to be a cool place to go hang out. Is if it just has a sign. It's like my dentist. I love my dentist. Now I'm an A&M guy, and I end up with people from A&M. I support the brand, and I did graduate work. I've got a graduate certificate in Homeland Security and emergency management from A&M. My oldest daughter has a degree from A&M. My two teenage daughters don't even think about going anywhere else other than A&M. My dentist is from A&M, and I love him. He doesn't hurt me. He doesn't give me a bunch of crap that I don't necessarily need to have done. If he tells you it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And he's very economical. But you pull up in front of the place, it just says dentist. There's no name or we call it this. No, it's dentist. And he does have like new furniture now, like in the waiting room. But before it was just like stuff from his house, stuff he'd replaced in his house, and it was there. But it's the place that you want to go to. You go to these other places, they tell you need $7,000 worth of work, and you go to him, and he's like, "Nah, you're all right. We're gonna do this. It'll be fine. We'll send you a bill." He doesn't take any insurance. He's not in any of the plans. He files the insurance and he gets the money back, and then he'll just send you a bill if there is one. I know I'm not quite down there, but I think I need to go ahead and start wrapping this up. So let's bring the other folks in. Hey, stoners, I am back. This has been a wonderful experience. In the last half, the sweetness did kind of fall away a little bit, and it was replaced with a little more like earthiness and hay sort of notes. I think for this pairing, I think it probably would have worked better without that change. But it was still a really good stick nonetheless, and they went together very, very, very well. I would give the stick, um, I'd give it an 88 matchsticks out of 100. So I'm still taking a few puffs off of it. Um, the Suntory Toki, as I, oh, wait a minute. As I empty the glass, it is a little on the lighter side with it's got a kind of an initial straightforward seeming flavor profile, but there is a complexity to it that kind of builds and makes it very appealing. It's balanced and consistent. Um, and while it does have some of the sharper, more youthful edges, it's a non-age statement whiskey. I think it could probably be even better if it was aged, say 3 to 5 years, or maybe even between 5 and 10 years. I think that would make it even more approachable. Um, I would give it an 85 whiskey stones out of 100. I mean, it is a really good whiskey, and you definitely need to try these two together. Definitely. They go together very, very well. Um, and for those that may not know much about whiskey or spirits and cigars or either one, Drew Estates makes some very excellent cigars that are easy smokers where you don't have to, am I gonna make myself nauseous smoking this or whatever. Uh, No, they're very easy smoking cigars, and he does some really, off the wall kind of things with the different lines that he has, like the acid line. They have all of these different things that they put in the flavor profiles, and they don't even tell you what they are. And then they have the Java line that's coffee infused. Then they have the Undercrown, they have the Nika Rustica, and all of them are excellent cigars. And I haven't found any that have been harsh or unapproachable. Uh, and Back to the Suntory Toki. Um, like I said, if it would be even better. It might even be above a 90 if they would age it a little more. I mean, I can imagine if this was like a 12-year. Oh, wow. That would be really, really good. It would be really good. But I think it's worth 85 whiskey stones, as the cigar is almost out. All right. I will tell you, I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. This has been really fun. Uh, Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about the episode or the show in general. Try not to be too harsh. Be approachable. You know, um, let me know what you think about the offering. If you've had them, if you like them, if you don't like them, if you try them together and you're like, "Hey, this was really good," I can't. Let me know that, because I'd like to know, you know, if I'm doing a good job of putting these together, because uh, all of this is very subjective. Cigars, what you taste and what you smell and all that, and the same thing in the spirit is very subjective. What I taste, what I smell may be different than what you taste and what you smell. So if you don't think I'm right, tell me you don't think I'm right. I can take it. I'm a big boy. Uh, if you think I'm doing a wonderful job, definitely let me know that. Definitely let me know that. Uh, Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify so that you know when I drop new content. Visit our website, sticksandstones.com, all small letters, all one word, all crammed together, sticksnstonez.com. And there you can reach our blog, which I gotta catch up on some blog posts. Uh, but I post about all different kinds of stuff. I've got stuff about spirits. I got stuff about cigars. Like I did one about the Boston Tea Party from the late 1700s. I try to do something that pretty much anybody could read and enjoy. And then I also have links to all of our affiliate partners there. True Classic Teas. My wife told me last night as we were on our way to our date night. We went to see a movie. We went to see uh, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and it was entertaining, and it had one of the characters that was in it is Ian Fleming, which is kind of loosely based on true story. And Ian Fleming, if you don't recognize that name, he is the person that wrote all of the James Bond stories. And he supposedly based James Bond off of the main character of this movie, who was an actual person. So anyway, it was entertaining. But what she told me was, she said, "I really like those T-shirts you've been wearing. They look really good on you. They're true classics. If you want your wife, your girlfriend, or some stranger at the bar to think that you look good in a T-shirt, follow the link to True Classic Tees, because they'll get you that kind of service. I guarantee it." But also, Freedom Fatigues, again, like the one I'm wearing. My Come and Take It Gonzalez Cannon. Go see Freedom Fatigues. They are veteran owned. All the products are made right here in the USA, right here in America. Caliber Coffee. Caliber Coffee. I used to own a coffee house. Some of the best coffee I've ever had is from Caliber Coffee. Go see those folks. There's a link again on the website. And in all my episodes, when I do the episode and post the audio, there is a link to the cigar and the spirit at Total Wine. And that way, as you're listening to the episode, you can click on the link and go out and you can be listening to the episode and looking at the cigar or the spirit, and you can order it right from their website. No easier way to do it. And then, can't forget, tip-top proper cocktails. Haven't you come home and wanted an espresso martini or an old-fashioned or margarita, and you're like, yeah, but I worked all day, I don't feel like making something? Tip-top proper cocktails. It's in a can. It's the real alcohol, tequila, whiskey, rum, the real deal. Pop the can, pour it in a glass. Doesn't get any easier than that. And you can have your espresso martini, your old fashioned, your Negro, all different kinds of things. Tip top proper cocktails. Anyway, until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day. Y'all have a good day.